They wrote red lines like they wore the scripture, grabbed up the frame till it bent the picture, pull that curtain, told us what to see, but we were in the crowd, we remember every scene. They spin stories till the spin get busy, they call it just this. When the math forget, they try to paint them as opposed as a sin, but it's all cut deep, they lived in the skin. Yeah, they faith in the courtroom. Give you the truth with the truth. Yeah, we were there, we were more than a few. We ain't fooled when they told us to. The king of R&B, we were singing the whole world knows. All we know, they try to take it from make us fall. We know we history, yeah, they want us fraction, blind and distracted, arguing in the comments, never see the tactics, edit to the cut, look clean, then be fear like a broken machine. But I've been hurt and meant to highlight, been crazy the days to pass, saw the flaws, and still so hard. You can make that part, you can make that part. No, let's free every chain, every queen, every lane, every when we barely sleep. You can what the feel, you can feel one thing, can't kill, can't hurt me, you will. Oh, we remember what we know. They try to take it from make it go. We don't we understand history. It look janky from the baby, yeah. But they didn't decide far from maybe we the ones that they label extreme. What's up, everybody in the chat? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hit the thumbs up if you can. If not, I'm gonna take these headphones off. Damn, my light just went out. Shout out to Galatians, Chris Terry. I see y'all. 574. What's up? What's up, Miss Lady T? I ain't gonna be on here too long. I just heard some interesting things, so I decided instead of doing my upload, I'm gonna just come drop this to y'all live because it kind of goes hand in hand with the topic I heard discussed and the content I was intending to bring anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna play one more song and we're gonna get into the comment. I'm sorry, the content. Yeah, they love the pen when they're all for them. Now they act brand new, say they never sing along. They checks while they played that man, turn the volume up. Now they claim they moved on. They from the pain and they understand. Try to bury the pain in the same. But the song still lives in our hearts that know. You can say my love, but you can't say perfect love. You can but you can't. You sit a shot girl, don't say his name like they didn't build mansions on his name. The flowers back at the thorn in place, now they throwing stones right at their face. But I won't fold at the fitness script. I won't trade my voice for the politics. You can watch me still, but it won't be long. Cause a real fan love never turns on and off. Don't count the king out. Breathe enough and don't make it loud. On everything you can pause, you can play, but you can't. You can't break my mind. You can't. So I just been thinking, like, these people really thought they was pulling one over. These people really thought people couldn't see the games they was playing. These people underestimated the power of social media, the same social media that they weaponized to scandalize the name of R. Kelly. But a lot of people didn't catch the playbook that the same prosecutors that prosecuted R. Kelly told us good people they used on Diddy. The difference is Diddy had a good defense team. Meanwhile, people over here expected simple bloggers to do all the work, they say. I listen to people talking about these people stealing my work. But what good did that work do if it wasn't presented in court, Bookie? Let's peek into this conversation. Thank you, Chris Terry. I don't even know what these jewels is, but yeah, thank you. Show me something new on here. Y'all know I don't be live like that, so. Anywho.
I agree. I don't want the viewers to jump ahead and not saying that you're intentionally doing it. And by jumping ahead, now they have swayed away from the focal point. And the focal point is this. I started this off by saying to you that when you said that had the investigators found anything to be criminally and legal malfeasant pertaining to the parents of Jane, the mother and father, that they would have been sitting right next to R. Kelly. From there, we went on to discuss the investigatory process and how it works. And I said to you, if in the course of first of all, we got prosecutorial, we have prosecutorial or prosecutor's discretion. We have that. That's a fact. Okay. But put that to the side for a minute. If in the course of the investigation, let me make it clear.
Let me park you right there, because while we putting that to the side, let's bring in the observation that I brought with my content, and that is people knew that R. Kelly was going through his open investigation as these special agents were watching these performances online, you know? So when it came to certain people who were coming to me with certain things and then trying to dismiss the things that I presented as conspiracy because they failed to comprehend, I wasn't going to get out here and volunteer information. Wasn't going to get out here and volunteer what they were out here doing. Wasn't going to even assume that they were knowledgeable about the things they were doing. Because we'll get to another point later on in this live as far as when people confuse that my work started before there were charges, you know. My work started with all of the information that began to flow on social media, you know. So obviously when people came in and they proclaimed that the things that other people were saying on their platform isn't what they presumed from the paperwork they were reading. Well, common sense should have told them maybe people knew a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes, what was being deliberately put out here, and how these prosecutors were strategizing their case. Because people didn't comprehend that it's kind of like the government can keep their hands clean in this whole situation, especially when they watch we people be our own demise. They watch people attacking each other, bringing out all this unnecessary chaos, implications in the midst of their open investigation, and ignore the person speaking common sense in the room. Thank you, Mama Love. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's up, Dana? What's up? You know, I had to get just a little bit of this live because y'all already know what was going to happen. And I just had to catch just this little part because it was other pieces within that live that other people could gain insight from. But I just wanted to make a point with this specific portion right here, because even when the fans and supporters kept coming at me, oh, the Clary set R. Kelly up. And you missing the strategy from the prosecutors, from these indictments that later followed. Because even if that were the case, the parents ain't being prosecuted. And even if the parents greenlit and set the stage for situations to occur, they prosecuting R. Kelly because the parents can't consent for the person they're claiming is a minor. And that has always been my position. And I wasn't going to be arguing with people on this internet about who set who up when none of that is relevant to the discretion that these prosecutors and officers of the court used in solidifying their conviction. Now, if people thought that those convictions meant guilt and thought his true supporters was going to sit out here and shut the fuck up, that wasn't going to happen. You saw the Fayweather people come in, try to get what they can out the situation and disappear to the background, right? But let's continue to listen.
If those investigators, when they took a peek, understanding that they themselves admitted one of their top officials, we started to investigate Robert Sylvester Kelly due to the docuseries. After watching the docuseries is when we launched our investigations. Now, that's what he said. I know you have pushed back in the past, but that's what he said. Listen. All right.
But that's when, I mean, when I say, when we say actual investigation, that means we.
Now, to park it there too, because I just wonder if somebody gonna put this other individual in this whole RICO conspiracy that they trying to circumvent with, because they on bullshit. And it's funny that I can be included in a group of individuals that this person don't like. But when it comes to the pieces of information each platform provided, and people out here watching, using their common sense to understand the plays, those weren't things to be debated on, because obviously everybody missed the strategy. When people ran around saying one man ain't no enterprise and getting mad at the person who knows that, who thinks it might sound good to some, but I introduced information that would lead people to separate the accusations that were being applied to R. Kelly instead of engaging them, instead of trying to keep making them appear more true, and then turn around and reveal to us just how these witnesses used were not credible, as we've always said. what does it say? Let's just say, hypothetically, let's just say the Clarys set R. Kelly up, right? The Dolphin Hotel, which people just, you notice over the years, people just kept getting on people's platform trying to stress the Dolphin Hotel. Okay. But like I said, when I peep where rhetoric is coming and I watch each platform, people can come out here and try to manufacture what they say is harassment. Because what I actually did was document all these moving pieces along the way as to they had their philosophies, they had their points of views, and I knew exactly the strategy that I was beginning to see. They were not trying to prosecute an enterprise. They were not trying to hold people equally accountable. They put a strategy at play to guarantee that R. Kelly was convicted. And if that means using individuals to get on that stand who was supposed to be part of this enterprise being prosecuted, and people don't understand that as far as unindicted co-conspirators, they told you who the enterprise was. And if you wanted to keep piling on who you feel like is part of the enterprise, who you feel like did this and who you feel like did that, are you mad at the person who documented it? Or are you mad because, again, people thought this shit was a game? And it wasn't a game no more when they used that same playbook on other people. So the highlight of this whole demonstration is going to be, I wonder how it's going to play out for old Keefe D, considering he got out here doing a whole lot of volunteering of information, kind of like a person we know by the name of Demetrius Smith, who was used to go in there and facilitate this bribery predicate act, right? Were they trying to prosecute Demetrius Smith? No, they weren't. They were giving him credence to give another person credence in this whole Aaliyah was being abused. I saw this, I saw that. Strategy. Discretion. The jury is only going to judge off of what they're being exposed to. And if we have been exposed to all the shit on these platforms and that shit didn't make it in the court, don't come trying to taunt prima donna because all the worker bees out here that played in your face had you bamboozled with the bouffale, as they say. And continue.
Have allocated resources.
That's right.
And put people or whatever. Other than that, it's just sitting there and information. Yeah, it just
in a form of complaint.
And add to that file. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now what I'm saying, let me put this on the screen. 1 second, Larry.
Now, everybody at this point, after this man done been convicted, now we can concede that this whole investigation started with surviving R. Kelly. And when I was out here saying, typically an investigation starts with a formal complaint. You mean to tell me we supposed to take this documentary serious? We supposed to take people talking about, I saw this documentary and now I had to go out here, put my cape on and save all these black girls. And the people who object and have a little bit of questions are being ridiculed. Somebody make this shit make sense. Because when you spin that block around, my position is going to be the same. From the way they paraded these people out here and volunteered all this information and kept falling out with each other just to make up with one another, it don't take a genius to know that. You would be a fool to try to group individuals with different opinions as one because everybody wanted to play all in this man's case and now try to shift the blame. Think on it. Just think on it. I'll let him continue.
We just gonna keep it civil, and I'm gonna get to his assertions, but I want to put this on a screen first because this is very important, I believe. Yeah. And I want people to keep in mind when Ms. Walker made the
talking about that's not true.
See, listen, Ms. Walker, we cannot.
Listen. Okay.
You can't do that. Okay, we'll deal with that later. Right now, this is crucial, and I don't want to engage in any back and forth and arguing. Listen, now read this. What I just placed on the screen.
It said, hold on for a minute. Let me talk this. Wait a minute, but you got on this system. That's not true. There was a bunch of stuff. R. Kelly people found, but I'm listening. It is what Levi. It cut somebody out and go right back to what I was doing. I'm professional.
But why even?
But listen, I know you're. Hold on, no, it's your buddy. But listen, I have no idea what he's talking about. That's not true. That's not even what I said. Okay, and whatever what you just took off, that is the best example of what I'm saying. Prosecutorial discretion. Okay, they get to pick and choose whatever they decide they want to try to build a case on. Okay. So, I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, that's fine. Let's stick to this. Okay. Now, this comes in the wake of what you said. This comes in the wake of what you said when you said, can you hear me? Okay. When you said they would have been, had they found something in the course of investigating any criminal malfeasance, that they would have definitely been sitting next to R. Kelly. Now, this is what the facts are. What I have on the screen, I'm going to read it. It says an unindicted co-conspirator is a person named or identified by prosecutors as a participant in a criminal conspiracy. Listen. But not formally charged in the indictment. Listen.
Let's park that right there. Because we had the audio of people talking about they had the bus drivers, the assistants, the storage, and all of that. We're just going to put that shit to the side. We're going to focus in on the indictments that told us who the fuck the enterprise was. The managers, the assistants, the bodyguard. This is who they said was the enterprise. So considering that they weren't indicted, wouldn't common sense tell you these are the unindicted co-conspirators? So with that being said, anybody else that people want to include in the enterprise, maybe that'll be a separate indictment, and maybe that's what people want. But when it came to the topic at hand of things going on in real time, you couldn't get people on these platforms and talk about this. You couldn't get these people on these platforms and keep it real. They didn't give a fuck what strategy these people put into play to get this man locked up, to keep R. Kelly down. Oh, but now we want to spin the block and revisit all of the arguments that I know damn well I was specifically speaking on while superfans was out here putting in all the work, getting next to the defense. The defense is asking for specific information, which people are now coming on these platforms conceding to. These people are conceding to the fact that when they went into trial, they were bombarded by a lot of stuff that they didn't have the researchers to handle. Now, when we saw all the turmoil between these attorneys, One getting fired, one getting pushed away, one over here, one get brought on at the end, and he don't know nothing. It's being said he was only used because he had a license. This person being accused of misconduct in the Curcio hearing. All of this shit nobody wanted to talk about then. But now we going back into this strategy. Discretion. Don't you know that even in that case, police have the discretion whether they're going to charge you for a crime or let you go, you know? Prosecutors have the discretion, judges have the discretion. This should be common knowledge. But yet you have people acting oblivious to why I felt like a lot of stuff was janky, whether they felt like it was being authorized or not. So to always find a reason to turn that around and disregard what I'm saying because they want to target certain people on these platforms year after year after year after year. This all will make sense when I get into my upload because we're talking about discretion. And when we lead up into Keefe D, we ain't going to forget that he kind of sunk his own ship. And now he's just in between a rock and a hard place. He say somebody else wrote the book, but he pumped it out here. He came out here with all the interviews. Over here in R. Kelly's case, we saw all these people facilitating all these interviews. Even R. Kelly being in jail, still facilitating interviews. He's sitting in jail doing interviews, telling you about some janky shit going on. Ain't nobody listening. But now people are concerned.
Listen closely. Common reasons for this designation include witness cooperation agreements, grants of immunity. Check this out. This is the one. Or as a strategy. Could have said as a strategy, we're not going to bring anything into these indictments concerning those two parents. Listen, let me finish now. That we know every single word that they spoke on Lifetime and every single description that they gave in the various interviews, not, as you said, some inconsistencies. I'm not going to go down that road to argue with you. Every single account were lies. So let us stay the fuck away from them. Let us not even question them. Let us not expand our investigatory efforts as it pertains what we're placing in this indictment. Let's not go nowhere near them because what we've been able to discern, we charged Robert Sylvester Kelly, R. Kelly, with coercing, enticing a minor across state lines. But according to what we're reading in these text messages, he asked the parents, he said, are your parents strict? Can you travel? No, we're not strict. Yes, you can go. While he's being, listen to me, he's being tricked into thinking that she's 18, and proof of that is what was testified to when she said At the park, he slapped her and said, "What? You're what? You're not 18?" Listen. So it could have been a strategy of the prosecutor that says, or strategic prosecutorial choices. Listen. The strategy could have been what those parents did was so fucking malfeasant, erroneous, it was unbelievable. That if we bring them into this shit, the jurors may say, shit, R. Kelly didn't do shit compared to what they did. Listen.
Now, clearly, as you saw coming across your screen, like I've always said, I'm a very visual person. So when I hear people speak and I hear information being talked around, I start thinking about some things. I start thinking about the point I just started making at the beginning of this video about this open investigation and all of these moving pieces you see before you, that I can still say I don't believe R. Kelly was aware of what's going on in the midst of his shit. People get mad when they saw their images in certain positions, and seem like to me those are guilty consciences, because at the end of the day, if you knew you weren't doing anything, but you knew what was being discussed in certain images, if you knew what was on display in certain images, if you knew that this man still had an open investigation going on to the point that I'm telling you some shit I didn't have to tell you. I didn't have to tell you that the agent contacted me, which was another red flag. Hello? How can an agent be contacting me based on some shit that's been reported, including me? And people confuse that because they feel a way about these people on these platforms, that they can keep trying to weaponize the police. Mention my name here, mention my name there, and keep skipping around while I enter the conversation. Because every video you can see and review, you will hear me saying the same shit. This shit is janky as fuck, stupid, dumb, don't make no damn sense. You're not gonna believe me. R. Kelly is aware these people were doing this shit on his behalf, even to the point now people are backtracking on this Michael Williams dude's involvement. And yes, you can go get his indictment. You can go get all of his paperwork, including the fact that he openly admitted he did the shit. He was high on cocaine, and people can go read how I feel like a special agent was trying to associate that shit to R. Kelly, but clearly it didn't go as planned. Hello? There's a lot of shit going on in the midst of this RICO case. So-called witness intimidation. My opinion, those people, whomever was doing whatever they was doing, should be held accountable on their own. The same way they want to sit here and stress that other people need to be held accountable for this and that. Take your accountability as well, is my position. Because all the stuff that people didn't have a problem with, the strategy, don't skip around that shit.
In addition to that, the defense attorneys are going to dissect those parents' every move. So what we're going to do is remove them from the equation, such to the extent we don't even want them to show up to the goddamn court. Act like they don't exist, because we've got to get the big fish, which is R. Kelly. And one thing we don't want is the jurors to have a total different picture of what really transpired, and by them having this information concerning those parents being presented in court, it may aid the prosecutors in the way that they're able to raise reasonable doubt with the jurors. So guess what? What they did was so goddamn egregious. We don't want them nowhere near this shit. Now, what I just described, based on what is on the screen, or strategic prosecutorial choices, am I correct? Yes or no?
Yeah. If you that goes back to prosecutorial discretion once again. So if they find that something can be potentially harmful to their case, they will that they have the right to not involve that particular person in no shape or no form. Another thing with the immunity, there's no secret immunity that can be kept from the defense, right? That's not how it works. If there are unnamed or what have you, please believe they're in the discovery, so they know the name and they know everyone who has had immunity or what have you. Because if not, then that would do what? That would go directly against the Sixth Amendment. Okay, so the
Yes, ma'am.
to know who all received immunity. I don't know. I don't care what kind of immunity it was. The defense has to know that information.
Yes, ma'am. Now, respectfully, I'll say.
No, hold on, nothing. And there's no prosecutors kept no parents from the trial, because if the defense if the defense made just if the defense had some type of a defense that required the parents to be there, they would have been there. They're not going to tell their parent tell somebody to stay away from the jail for what? From the courthouse for what?
Okay, please let me say this to you, Ms. Walker. And this is what, I'm not accusing you of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean by, not saying it's intentional. This is what I mean by intellectual dishonesty, be it intentional or not. This is what I'm saying. Let me say this again.
Mm-hmm.
What I placed on the screen did not have anything to do with immunity. It did not have anything to do with the things you said over the last 5 minutes. Listen, I'm the kind of person.
You mentioned immunity.
Listen, sweetheart. Listen, you people have to listen closely when you're dealing with these academicians. I read the full caption, but I said, if you play this back, I said, now this is where it matters. Strategic prosecutorial choices. Listen,
What's up,
you
J-Rob?
came back and you said, well, that is equivalent, I'm just paraphrasing, to prosecutorial discretion. Listen to me. To the layperson, they can get fooled by that. No. Oh my God. Listen.
We won't do that because I didn't hear that.
And I said, this is where it counts, right here, y'all. Strategic prosecutorial choices. Listen.
Right.
Listen. Now I must, for the sake of the audience, draw a line of differentiation between prosecutorial discretion, and you're right, they have that.
Right.
But listen, I must inform the audience that there is a stark difference between discretion and strategic prosecutorial choices.
Now, agree or disagree? Do y'all think this type of information is why you had Tim Savage out here? I never sold my daughter. I wasn't a parent that sold my daughter. Then you have people continuously trying to provoke Pimplo to come out here and talk. Then you just kept on seeing all the back and forth. And it didn't do nothing but confirm what we already knew. This was some bullshit. And to be frank, I don't think one way or another they needed the parents to get in there and testify when they could have took those stories, since these people claim they had all the information all these years, and they could have provided the witnesses to pick apart each of those stories, considering Snitch 9 talking about Azriel lied on so many different occasions, which we already know, but just like the rest of them. So don't just single out Azriel for lying. Go down the line. Demetrius lied. Motherfucking Geronda lied. Faith lied. Everybody motherfucking lied. And a real defense could have came in there and picked that shit apart if they were prepared.
Different things. Listen, it is akin to one another, but strategic.
Yeah.
Listen, Ms. Walker, strategic prosecutorial choices mean as a strategy. It means this has risen where we must adopt a strategy, because if we choose to include, in this case, the parents, it can derail our cases. So that word strategic is a very dangerous word to the defendant. It's strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you hear every nigga on the planet say, for the Fed got a 98%, the feds don't play. The Fed, yeah, they're strategic. And this is what most black people don't study and research and understand. These three words are some serious words to say: strategic prosecutorial choices. So the guy who worked at the FedEx warehouse, we know that he was an inside man. But if we
All right. So what y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think about what you heard? What do y'all think? What's up, Be the Light? I got you. What do y'all think about what y'all heard? Don't everybody speak at once. I'm gonna get my upload ready. See if y'all got something to say about what you just heard. We were just you're gonna have to catch the playback. You're gonna have to catch the playback then, J Rock. But basically, I was just sharing a little snippet of what I caught from Levi's live. course, is gone now. But he had a panel with Angie Walker, and then Snitch Nine got on there, and they was just discussing how they felt about the parents not being at the court strategically, etc. When, like I said, most of us were aware that during most of this, R. Kelly was going through an open investigation. A lot of stuff was being strategically put out here. Did nobody have a problem with that shit? But from my view of this, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say, like I said, let's pretend like Pimp Low set all this in motion. He set R. Kelly up from the Dolphin Hotel. This is something that the super fans kept getting on my fucking nerves about and getting mad because, again, I wasn't there, not here to try to prove no shit like that. All I did was document, give a timeline for even Azriel, for all the stuff that they put out there, getting her included in the indictments. The mere fact that somebody from R. Kelly's so-called inner circle reached out to Tim Savage, and then whether he knew it or not about what was going on with the Clary girl and the Clarys, he decided to position himself to come out here and start name dropping. So he's the one, from my view, who started all this on a public domain. I'm not finna go back and forth about no conspiracies about this happened at the dog and all that other shit. That's, again, people come out here and say things they can't substantiate and get mad because I don't have to believe none of it to still stand on why I didn't believe none of it from the fucking beginning. So let's get into my uploads that I prepared, because it kind of goes hand in hand with what they were talking about. If you caught it, if you didn't, if you got a little bit from the little snippet that I gave you, let's get to the main event.
This afternoon, an 8 News Now exclusive before one of the biggest trials in Las Vegas history. A sit-down interview with the man accused in the murder of Tupac. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis speaking with investigator Vanessa Murphy. A quick note, our team was not allowed to put a microphone on Davis due to security. That's why we've included subtitles.
The trial surrounding the murder of rap legend Tupac Shakur nearly 30 years ago is just days away. We were given the rare opportunity to sit down with the man at the center of it all, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, face to face while he waits here in jail.
Did you have anything to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wasn't even in the matter.
Damn, I'm muted. My bad. So clearly what I'm visually showing you is how I'm comparing Keefe D in the situation he put himself in and Demetrius Smith in the situation he put himself in, with somebody writing his book, him putting all this implications in there, him doing his interviews, him participating in Surviving R. Kelly, him giving the platform for people like Javante Cunningham, Tiffany Hawkins, etc. And these people that claim R. Kelly is so guilty, who wanted to pass by all of the red flags, and how Demetrius Smith pretty much told us he started it all, especially by ushering this girl, the so-called hidden Aaliyah, Tiffany Hawkins, to the person who got a whole lot of settlements put in play for individuals that people were now able to say is a history of misconduct. Follow me? This man set the stage. Susan Loggins. They talk about this man was paying off all these people. They said in the Chicago case
and the charges against him, he obstructed justice by paying off this witness. He's not guilty on that count. Should you now revisit the red flags surrounding all of these so-called settlements, especially when you're going to see in other content that I release that you had people out here playing 007 agents trying to get information from Demetrius that obviously wasn't put into court, including people he implicated in his little marriage certificate plot that people said was a conspiracy. Strange.
Do you regret the book and the interview?
Yeah, I was just after the money, and they said I was covered. I did it for the money. You know what I'm saying? And
But did anyone tell you maybe it's not a good idea to do that because they might arrest you after they hear you say that or read it in your book? Like, did anyone close to you say, not a good idea?
That was the ghostwriters. I didn't write that book. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about no Winston Churchill, Frank Sinatra. Just read the book. You know I didn't write that book. You know what I'm saying? And the black thing, the lady, she gave me $150,000.
But then when I was watching the interview this week, and the way you sort of go through it by play, like then this happened, it's very believable.
They wrote me a script to follow. My lawyer came with the script. It seemed like he was in bed with them the whole time.
When you were talking in this interview about Tupac's murder, and when you were doing this book, were you considering maybe his family at all?
No, I just did it for the money. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to feed my family. You know what I'm saying? And it's wrong. It's just wrong. I'm an innocent man. And they said, yeah, Crib. I haven't been around that stuff since like 89. I stopped.
Yeah, you see, yeah, he is slow, Chris. He's very slow. Same way I feel about these people. Just think about them. What did they have going before they could get on the stage of Surviving R. Kelly? What did Demetrius have going on? He already got his coin off the book a decade ago. So what did he have going? What did Geronda Pace have going? Drea Kelly, Lisa Van Allen, Faith Rogers, Lizette Martinez. What did these people have going for themselves? They did it for the money. They did it for the fame. But let some of them tell it, they didn't get paid. Seemed like to me, even if they didn't get a check, the strategy was in play for them to get paid, whether it was through restitution, book deals, interviews. You feel me? Dana said he wanted to be back in R. Kelly good gracious. You know what? Like I said, that's what I get from some of these people who wanted people to just put all their information out here and them to come up with they cockamamie, stupid ass documentaries and other stupid ass shit that wasn't going to help R. Kelly. And then turn around and act like we stole their damn information that they didn't even apply. I can't make this shit up.
Pulled up my pants. I'm not no leader or Crips or none of that stuff. That's wrong. They just try to make their case look good or something. He's a leader of the Crips. He's way up there in the Crips. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? There's no color line. I'm messing with Bloods, Crips, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't the leader of the Crips. I helped to like get that record company together. You know what I'm saying? And why would I kill the guy that's making us the most money? You know what I'm saying? That's a rapper back then. Why would I kill our money like that? It don't make sense. So I'm not going to tell you that I didn't. So,
Has the DA's office offered you any plea deals, and would you consider a plea deal?
I'm not going to take no plea deal because I didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 63. I had a cancer battle, and I got 3 stents to my heart. And the average American lives to like 74 years old. 10 years, I'm dead. So what I don't like taking a jail. You know what I'm saying? I heard it was like something 10 and 25. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take a deal like that. And I have, especially after I haven't done it. I'm an innocent man.
How concerned are you that you'll be convicted after this trial and you won't get to spend your final years with your family?
Yeah, I think the Ninth Circuit Court's going to let me go. I think they're going to let me go because it's not right. I'm going to be all right though, because God upstairs, he got me. And he know I am this. Yeah. And I hate I put my family in jeopardy like this. So that's one regret I have.
Zip had a check in his right pocket, right back pocket, and that check was for $1 million. He said he got Jimmy Henchman got him the check from Barry Hankerson or something like that. Barry Hankerson, I think, there was a Leah uncle or manager or something like that, gave him that check for Black Ground Records. That's what he said.
Imagine that. When I brought to my audience how I watched a whole lot of similar interviews being conducted, and people ignore that the prosecutors came out and told us for themselves that they used the R. Kelly playbook on Diddy. And now as we see people gravitating toward this Keefe D trial, it doesn't take a genius to revisit some of the information as to why I am adamant that the piss-poor investigation that was conducted in R. Kelly's cases should be revisited, just the same way that people want to backtrack all of the bold claims they made publicly on these platforms. Now, people skip around the facts that Diddy had an actual defense doing their job. When it came to R. Kelly, he didn't have that luxury. So it was people like me who was documenting all of these characters who were brought to these public domains, giving their story times, showing us good people exactly how those prosecutors were writing up their indictments, forming their history of bad acts, allowing these so-called bad act witnesses to grace these platforms and conveniently cherry pick the things that they wanted to build a janky ass RICO around. Now look over here in Diddy's case. Did he get convicted of a RICO? No, he did not. Yet people want to keep playing these games on these platforms with all the information that should be revisited. Now that years have passed, people forgot how we got here. People forgot the tell-all that sparked so much. People forgot all of the information that was strategically being planted, even on mainstream media platforms, and all of the corruption that led me to believe either A, these people that are being implicated are not being prosecuted for a reason, or B, all of this is some bullshit. And because people don't want to explore why I felt like that as much as they wanted to dismiss it, stay tuned as I make this make sense for all of you.
I'm Prima Donna, and this is Prima Donna News. I cover the stories everyone's sharing, trending, and talking about. Your daily dose of viral news. Be the change you want to see and never be silent.
Follow me, I like to get it poppin', but these bitches in my business come me up to choosing violence. If you see me out in public, you don't know me, keep it silent. In the metro, my be screaming, but outside I keep it quiet.
You think you know, but you have no idea. This is Surviving Lies.
So, how'd you get involved in this whole thing?
I got involved like most people, just on social media looking at Tim Savage.
Right.
The first thing I saw was his intervention.
Mhm.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay. And then I'm listening to mainstream media talk about R. Kelly has this cult. And I'm like, okay. So as I continue to watch all of this in progress, I start to see the making of Thriving R. Kelly. I continued to follow it, and as I started to research, I started noticing all these people from the docuseries were getting on social media implicating other people, and that just led me down this whole trail of all these people that were not in this damn case.
Right. If you could sum this whole thing up into 2 words, what would it be?
Shady as hell. Shady as hell. Put the as hell, one word.
Now, clearly, as I've said many times, if I hadn't screenshotted and recorded all of the information that I did as we review, people wouldn't believe what I have to say. But the gag is, when I seen all these people try to piggyback off of my research, throw shots at me at the same time, and then get mad and overly offended that no matter how many times they tried to insert me into the case because I obviously was researching all of the allegations, that's where a lot of people had me confused with the super fans. So it don't take a genius to recognize when I saw them all huddled up over there on Choke No Jokes platform, I let them have it. Just like they came out here and told everybody they had all the information to free R. Kelly, then sitting out here now trying to backpedal and make it seem like I was involved in some way because they couldn't recognize why they couldn't focus on the charges getting embedded with weird ass people. Clearly, I let the people know you have an option with me. You can go and research yourself so that you can keep up with the information, or you can just be lost in the sauce. Considering the method I used was to allow them to expose themselves and their intent.
This is absolutely hilarious. When you squeeze a fat motherfucker, the truth will ooze from his pores. I sent the information to Barry Hankerson. You didn't know I knew him, huh? I worked for R. Kelly. Barry Hankerson was his manager at the time. So yeah, I know Barry Hankerson. I got him the information that you were saying about him and his company, Blackground Records. You and Choke are in trouble because he sent his goons at your fucking head.
Not the goons. That sounds like some Rico activity, if I do say so myself. But again, these people can get on these platforms, talk they shit, and then say Prima's stealing their content because I let them speak for themselves.
Now you're backtracking and trying to pretend like these are lies that Choke said. I have the recordings of you saying it time and time and time again. And Choke just repeated what you said. But Barry Hankerson sent his goons at both of your motherfucking heads for playing with his fucking name and playing with his company name. You're going to learn to tell the fucking truth. The moral of the story is don't go on platforms and lie on people because someone's going to be listening that can get that information to the person you're lying on. And there are going to be consequences for you. Welcome to your consequences. You got to go back to my YouTube channel, Goddess Sharon, and look at the last 15 videos I've done on this subject to understand what's going on here.
It's so strange how people can sit up here and tell you that some goons have been sent your way. They done made 15 plus videos back to back going at people, and then they can turn around and act like they're the victim when people get on their ass. Isn't that coincidental?
I got the information to Barry Hankerson. I was able to do that immediately, and he responded very swiftly and sent his goons at your head. Tee hee hee hee. Tee hee hee hee.
That shit ain't aging well, Bookie. Continue.
Now you changing your whole goddamn story. This is fucking hilarious.
I really believe that if they had a leg to stand on regarding that, something would have been found out about now. Let me get into this, bro, right quick. Now, there was some garbage that was said regarding Tupac's murder on this Piers Morgan interview. And they said some names of some people with not any proof at all. They even went on and lied and said, I said that Sean Puffy Combs gave Eric Von Zip $1 million for the death of Tupac, which I never, ever said that.
I just realized I was muted again. But hold on, J-Rock, because you're going to later hear that she going to come back after she had her little words with Demetrius Smith, talking about he working for Barry Hankerson or he's still dealing with Barry Hankerson. So you never know what's truthful when it comes to this crackhead over there to be just smoking that ooh-wee. I don't know what she be doing over there, but she played too goddamn much. But let's let her have it. She contacted Barry. He sent out the goons.
The same individual who told that lie months ago went on their YouTube show and said Reggie Wright Jr. was responsible for Tupac's and Big's murder. He goes on the show and said, Sean Puffy Combs and me, because Puff gave him the money and I set Big up, that we responsible for Big's and Tupac's death. Make up your mind. Now we on a real platform so we can get greasy with it. You putting stuff out there to mess up the investigation because you talking stuff that you know nothing about. You wasn't around. Nobody messed with you. Don't nobody even F with you in New York City. You went on there, you put out information, and now the investigators of Tupac and them family, when they come to you, just like Diddy lawyers and them should come to you and ask you, well, where you get that information from? Because you didn't get it from me.
Y'all picking up on the strategy. People will know there's an open investigation. Get to putting shit out here trying to thwart said investigation. Yep.
So now, Tupac family, I said this, and you hearing it from Gene Deal out of his mouth. Eric Von Zip had a check for $1 million. He told us he got that $1 million from Black Ground Records. Now, he said it was from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman. I said I didn't know if Zip ever having a record label. You could trace that. You could see why. Because I know it was statements that Puff was saying on records, on SNS. I had you killed for $1 million. Whether he was talking or whether it was truth, I don't know. But for somebody to put people's name and try to mix the Quad Studio into what happened in Vegas, that's some bullshit. And y'all know it to be true. Listen, I truly believe that when this individual told that lie and said Reggie Wright and had something to do with Tupac murder, and this then he had something to do with Biggs murder. Then he came back and said, nah, it's Puff and Gene Deal. Piers Morgan, you need to watch who you have on your program, bruh. Because right now, you looking real fugazi out here.
Now, when you look at all of this, from R. Kelly's case to Diddy's case to even the Keefe D, what's the difference between Keefe D and a Demetrius Smith, for example? Oh, I know. One's being prosecuted for this alleged hit, and one got on the stand and got immunity to get a charge for R. Kelly. I can't make this shit up.
Demetrius Smith called me, and he had been smoking some ooh-wee and drinking. So he was very talkative, and he was revealing a lot of details that he did not put in his book and that he had not told many people. That's when he told me Drea was on a sex tape, and he had seen the tape. Carrie had it. She was playing with her clit with her leg behind her head and corkscrewing on Robert. What he said.
Park that right there. Park that right there. Because as we continue this video, you're going to understand how I got specific names confused. Keith Muriel and a person she's going to mention who Dana clarified. So when Keith Muriel went into Chicago and got on this stand and he made his statements, well, nobody on these damn platforms talking about his statements. They wasn't talking about what he said. They wasn't talking about why people keep saying Drea Kelly was on a sex tape. People keep skipping around why it's too many motherfucking tapes and shit being passed around. It's too many people around R. Kelly doing this fugazi ass shit. But we're going to let them continue. Because trying to include people on YouTube that was dumb enough to let them include them, hey, they going to feel some type of way forever. But at the end of the day, it didn't take all that shit to realize why all of this bullshit was stupid.
That was most important was Barry Hankerson and Daryl McDavid have all of Robert's money. Barry Hankerson and Daryl McDavid have all of Robert's money.
Who got the money?
Barry Hankerson and Daryl McDavid have all of Robert's money.
Oh, shit now.
And he went on to say that he was still working with Barry Hankerson and Daryl McDavid.
Well, shut
he
your
was
mouth.
still working with Barry Hankerson. David. He was still working with Barry Hankerson and Daryl McDavid. He was a little high. I understood that, so I remained quiet.
The teachable moment in all of this is the fact that I gave all these people so many warnings, so many chances to come out here and keep it real. But they wanted to keep these distortions alive and even trying to fabricate why they feel like I watched Dana J and skip how we can build on information regardless of whether we agree on certain things or not. But I just love it when I bring my content, and I could watch him come and do what I challenged him to do from the moment I made my presence known. And that is stick to the topic. Because these people out here that's trying to masquerade and keep the distractions going, they didn't catch exactly why I could look at the Chicago case and the New York case when it came to R. Kelly, especially when we skip around this playbook that was put into effect against R. Kelly, and everybody skipped that this man was acquitted for obstruction of justice, which would automatically give you the rethought about all the things they said about him paying off witnesses, etc., when people voluntarily came out and told us a lot of the behind the scenes pieces that still gave more reasonable doubt than we saw put forth when it came to R. Kelly's defense, especially when these people facilitate these interviews for them to come out with a shocker like this.
I seen Prima say that she was thinking that Keefe Morrell was General. So I told Prima, hold on, I'm going to tell her who General is. General is Ali, one of the Zopound leaders. And I'm going to let you hear for yourself what Ali said. Hold on. This is what Ali said. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue. This is their content. This is what Ali said.
I gotta ask you, right? Because I was reading one of your books, and you revealed that you was the one that took R. Kelly tape, the tape he had with the underage girl. What's the backstory behind that?
Nah, yeah. Jermaine Atkins wrote that book. Through the grapevine, it was always known what happened with that aspect at hand, But R. Kelly, he was kind of known in the industry for doing a lot of the man is amazing, but within that, there was a lot of issue with Barry Hankerson and Aaliyah, God bless her dead, and Barry Hankerson felt some kind of way.
Damn, I gotta remember to take my mute again. Anyways, so Barry felt some type of way because of that. Did he feel some type of way because he might have felt like he was being replaced by the likes of Daryl McDavid? Could that be a sore spot? That somebody took his spot? Because people out here would hear that and say, well, he felt some type of way because R. Kelly abused Aaliyah. If that's the case, why would he continue working with his ass? Why would he wait years after the fact to come up with this whole plot to get this tape that they say everybody knew he was carrying around in this duffel bag? Meanwhile, put that to the side. Let's step into what Lisa Van Allen, the person on the witness stand, had to say. I stole a tape that I was on, gave it to a person that I ain't even supposed to be talking to by the name of Keith Muriel. He did this with the tape. I end up having to get back in contact with him conveniently around the same time that this story would fall into place, especially if it's him talking about music being done between R. Kelly and the rapper The Game, which was around the 2005 area, which you can recall Lisa Van Allen saying around that same time R. Kelly reached out to her to recover some tapes. So it just make me now think again.
all this shit being exposed on these platforms in these interviews, and these prosecutors can use their discretion to use what pieces they want to. They can allow these witnesses to go in there and perjure their fucking self, and they can bank on the fact that the defense ain't gonna challenge it. Does it take a genius to know that for 7 years, I wasn't finna be arguing about who's on the tape, who I think's on the tape, other than to state my position when it came to specific tapes being mentioned? I don't believe R. Kelly's on a tape with a minor. Now, when it came to his wife and maybe his other sneaky leaks, that ain't my goddamn business. Never was. So when you have this person coming out here after he's been convicted with this new story, does it make sense why I kept saying the chain of custody should have always been at the forefront of every conversation when you got all these people claiming that the tape is supposed to be this, and we have it being passed around, distributed, and now according to him, Barry Hankerson told him to go get the tape so he can put the shit out. Fast forward, you get to a Jim Derogatis talking about he got a damn tape in the mail and he reached out to Sparkle for her to identify her daughter on it. Like somebody. When we talk about people that should have been in those courtrooms testifying, I could give you a whole fucking list. And it ain't gonna be specific to no motherfucking Clary's. Okay? The fuck?
So he knew already, hey man, that man got some shit in his duffel bag. Get that and get it to me, man. So we try to get him, you know what I'm saying? Book him. He got booked with Game to do a song, a video. Yeah, he got booked with Game to do a video when he got in Miami, South Beach. When he got booked there though, you know, Kels be saying some crazy shit. You ever seen a shooting star hang with a star? He just come by and go. So is that when he booked Game though? Yeah, when he booked Game, he wanted a boat. Game get his own boat. He come and meet me at this boat, and we meet at this boat. So I'm there and I'm trying to see how the fuck I'm gonna get this here. You know what I'm saying? Got my man Keefe wearing my cock with me. I'm like, man, I gotta get this, man. So we do the little show and all that, whatever the video, but nothing come to fruition. It don't happen. So Kel's having to go a little run in Florida and go to Fort Pierce. And when he go there, I holler at my man in Pakistan.
What it was, J-Rock. So look at the time frame. That
And,
was in 2005, somewhere in that area,
now
right?
he in Fort Myers. I holler at my peoples in Pakistan. So them Haitians like, boy, I got him, don't trip. So he doing a little concert for them and he coming out with a duffel bag. So he come out with a duffel bag. T-Fray get him, pop, grab that the duffel bag, pop. Get in the car, I pull off. I know he like, God damn, they don't want nothing else because it's like 15 of them. But it's like, this don't.
Now, if this happened in 2005, he already been charged. So you gonna tell me he's still walking around with a duffel bag and it got a tape in there and Barry Hankerson said, go get that tape. Like, again, hey, I'm not here to judge who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. All I'm here to do is tell you Keith Murrell was on the stand and what he said didn't make no sense. Lisa Van Allen was on the stand and what she said didn't make no sense. And she perjured herself ample times. Chuck Freeman was on the stand And what he said left out that he tried to sue R. Kelly for not buying what they said is CP. I could go on and on and on and on with the information that they say didn't make it into court. Because they had it all. What the fuck? Why didn't it make it into court? Y'all knew every goddamn thing. Make it make sense. I'll wait.
That got taken. He was well known about this private bag, but motherfuckers just be on joke time. Everything in that bag, boy, that was rumored around him. So got the bag, VHS, and I remember I said, man, what the wrong with this nigga? And like, man, I don't know what's going on, but hand this shit to Barry Hankerson, and Barry like, boy, that shit was bootleg out everywhere.
Now, when I heard that, I'm like, I know you fucking lying. That just again gives more credence to how I was side-eyeing how Lisa Van Allen got out here and she gave her story, right? I documented it as she said, followed the pieces, and guess what? Still came to the same conclusion. The attorneys should have been challenging some of this janky-ass evidence from the beginning. But no, people wanted to get mad because I can read all of the names that was being dropped. Look at previous coverage. Look at all of the pieces continuing to fall. Come to my own conclusions when it came to why a lot of these people were not credible. Regardless of how many they piled up, it still never fit the mere fact that this man was acquitted of obstruction, which they proclaim was the highlight of why he was acquitted. In 08, giving so many excuses to justify the strategies we saw at play.
I'm gonna give y'all one more. Then I'm gonna get on up out of here. I'm gonna give you one more. Somebody playing on my top, and I like to play back. Because what you don't want to do is come out here and say some fuck shit and forget a year down the line, and then come and try to revive your story and forget. Don't play with Prima. Don't play with Prima. Because Prima gonna play back, bitch. Prima gonna play back. Let me share my screen right quick.
And the math still ain't mathing. Look at this mess. I can watch him lie all day. Pass the popcorn. Welcome to Surviving Lies.
Did you know that there is a whole R. Kelly sector on YouTube? You wouldn't believe the dysfunction. Not only from so-called supporters, but also those who mask themselves just to provoke pure comedic entertainment at their own expense.
Rob, before he went in, said that Will Eady threw a party for him or some event for him where he was supposed to get somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000, one of those appearances. And Will Eady convinced him to do it. He convinced him to come. Rob went, and Rob didn't see a dime of the money. Rob believed Will Eady kept that. So Rob wasn't fucking with Will Eady. He was mad at him out. So they weren't bros. They weren't friends. They weren't even fucking with each other. Let me put y'all up on game.
Put us on game.
He has been calling me. I won't answer the phone. He's been DMing me, going crazy at my posts, threatening me.
Damn,
But,
everybody
that
always
don't work with
threatening
me.
her, huh?
So I guess he reaches out to Keefe to try to get Rob to call him. Now, this is very telling because Keefe said, basically said, did you tell Rob to call me? Well, he said, did you tell him that I said to call me? Yes. He said he just had to find your number because you have to be on his call log. Rob has been in there 5.5 years, and Will Eady is not on his call log. I'm on his call log. Will Eady ain't on his call log. And
Well, Sharon, I've known Sharon for 30 years, man. Maybe probably more. She was my nutritionist at one point. Right. And then she advanced on to working for a whole lot of professional people.
instead of saying, I got to find the number. So that means Rob don't want to talk to him. And Keith probably never told Rob. A lot of times Keith wasn't giving Rob people's messages because Keith wants to be the only one that gets to Rob, gets information to and from Rob so that no one else can influence Rob. I don't believe he ever even told Rob to call Will so that he could know everything that Will is trying to say to Rob. In 2019, Keith was driving some old ass car, Chevy Impala, some shit, garbage ass car. He has no credit card. He's broke because the only way you get a boot on your car is you didn't pay tickets for a long, long time. So they doubled and tripled.
A lot of people went from trying to say this person filed for the community sentence, this person filed for the community sentence, that person filed for the community sentence, they intervened in this case.
And did.
Ain't nobody saying that now that the power of attorney filed for a community sentence.
Baby stepper. Because Prima Donna clearly said, I don't care who, especially when the attorney on record claimed they was going to be seeking said pardon months and months ago. But continue.
I see Prima Hole.
See where they always fuck up? They always got to introduce me into their Reddick. Skip how I just watched these fools come out here with all this rah-rah, all these manufactured beefs and shit, skipping around information about the case, skipping around all these people behind the scenes who came out here feeding them garbage and misdirecting their frustrations with the janky shit that I put on display that showed me why they some fraud ass people who I ain't concerned with one way or another.
Bozo, the Play cousin. Each one of y'all have disrespected that man, Keefe.
Now, first and foremost, that's a motherfucking lie when it comes to Prima Donna. But even if it were true, I don't give a fuck about him, just like I don't give a fuck about this fool. But the gag is, let's go into who actually disrespected that man, Keefe.
I believe Keith Calvert threw the fight. I believe Keith Calvert rigged the game. I believe Keith Calvert deliberately withheld money from lawyers, for lawyers, deliberately hired inexperienced, unprofessional, below average lawyers, and then didn't supply them with any money for professional experts, forensic experts, witnesses, a professional private investigator, so that he could guarantee a loss. I believe Keith Calvert deliberately and maliciously intended from the very beginning to leave Robert in prison and make sure he didn't get out, which means we were all working for nothing. We all put in endless hours, 7 days a week, for months, years, 5.5 years we've been at this. And it was a lost cause from the beginning because he was never going to put money up for lawyers, for experts, for witnesses, for PIs, for detectives to help make sure Rob won. It was a fixed fight. I think every R. Kelly fan and supporter that started a blog, that started a platform, that put time and energy into reporting on this case, doing rallies, getting the transcripts, reading them, doing everything we could to help Robert, to try to help him win this. Everybody has grounds to file a lawsuit against the power of attorney, Keith Calvert, because we all were putting in work, fighting all day, every day to win when the game was rigged.
Keith Calvert, each one of y'all have disrespected that man. Keith told me out his own mouth.
Who disrespected that man? Who disrespected that man, y'all? Who disrespected that man? Was it the person out here saying that he's stealing R. Kelly shit? Possibly the person who said that he was in the storage with him while he was stealing R. Kelly shit? Let's figure it out, Dumbo, because I don't give a fuck one way or another. Because I only got to disrespect those who disrespect me. Therefore, Prima has never had a reason to disrespect a Keith other than to ask why the fuck would the person who allegedly was trying to intimidate Azriel try to blow up her vehicle and, according to the paperwork, go to Keith's house. Only thing Prima Donna has said about the Keith. But put that to the side, who the fuck would know that Keith is the power of attorney if it wasn't for goofy motherfuckers out here on these platforms doing the most, volunteering that information, trying to incriminate him, got other people's out here plotting, trying to be the power of attorney, and you see these ongoing power struggles emerge from behind the scenes, gracing these platforms while fools try to distract the people who don't like Prima. Like, I give a fuck. It's not gonna change the fact that these people are slow to me. Period. Period.
He don't fuck with Bozo, and he don't fuck with you either. Now, if it's 7 major players, according to you, Play Cousin, we know Keith don't fuck with you, so he can't be a player in your motherfucking game. We know that Keith went and hired this attorney in Atlanta, so it ain't got nothing to do with you. You acting like Sharon Winbush claimed that she filed a community sentence. She never said she found no community sentence. She said her and Bo Brindley filed for a pardon.
And he was begging for people in the camp to give him money so he could get the boot off his car. So that tells you he was broke in 2019. You couldn't pay the tickets on your car. You got a boot on your car.
Thank you.
And you didn't have the money for either one. Plus, you're driving an old ass car. The minute he gets Rob's money, all of a sudden, he's buying a new Mercedes truck. He claims the note is $600 a month. He's got a Lexus. He's bought a new slingshot, all the jewelry, all the clothes, $50,000 into a restaurant. I'm sure he put $10,000
You ain't hear him down.
for
Hold
people.
on.
He don't fuck. Keith Calvert, each one of y'all have disrespected that man. Keith told me out his own mouth, he don't fuck with Bozo, and he don't fuck with you either, Play Cousin. Now,
What that got to do with me though?
if it's 7 major players, according to you, Play Cousin, we know Keefe don't fuck with you, so he can't be a player in your motherfucking game. We know that Keefe went and hired this attorney in Atlanta, so it got nothing to do with you. You acting like Sharon Winbush claimed that she filed a commuted sentence. She never said she found no commuted sentence. She said her and Bo Brindley filed for a pardon.
And he was begging for people in the camp to give him money so he could get the boot off his car. So that tells you he was broke in 2019. You couldn't pay the tickets on your car. You got a boot on your car, and you didn't have the money for either one. Plus, you driving an old ass car. The minute he gets Rob's money, all of a sudden, he's buying a new Mercedes truck. He claims the note is $600 a month. He's got a Lexus. He's bought a new slingshot, all the jewelry, all the clothes, 50,000. I'm sure he put 10,000 into each person in the camp's business venture so that he could compromise them so they couldn't tell on him, because if you accept money, you dirty right with the nigga. So you can't tell because you're compromised. They tried to compromise me. They called me. Keith wasn't on the phone, but it was Will and another guy in the camp. I know they were doing the bidding for Keith, and they wanted me to sell Rob's intellectual property to compromise me, to keep me in their circle, but not go and tell Rob what they're doing. You told me you met your girl at an arcade. They tell because you're compromised. They tried to compromise me. They called me. Keith wasn't on the phone, but it was Will and another guy in the camp. I know they were doing the bidding for Keith, and they wanted me to sell Rob's intellectual property to compromise me, to keep me. They called me. Keith on the phone, but it was Will and another guy in the camp. I know they were doing the bidding for Keith, and they wanted me to sell Rob's intellectual property to.
What she gonna sell? She gonna sell his intellectual property. Hey, who was that who told Prima Donna to go get the intellectual property? Who told Prima to go get it? Who? Because it sounds like to me somebody else got that shit. It ain't Prima. She gonna sell the shit. So you and Don gonna split that shit up now that you done exposed Don, exposed Keith, exposed Will. You done went on an exposing spree. Now they want you to sell the intellectual property. Girl, I can't make this shit up. Dumbo, I know your motherfucking ass watching. Who disrespected who now? Who?
Compromise me, to keep me in their circle, but not go and tell Rob what they're doing. You told me you met your girl at an R. Kelly party, a party that was thrown for R. Kelly by R. Kelly. A bunch of women come to it so they can meet R. Kelly and try to get with R. Kelly. That's where you met your girl. That means she was at an R. Kelly party to meet R. Kelly, and probably wasn't his type, so she ended up with you. If she came to an R. Kelly party to meet R. Kelly and get with R. Kelly, ends up with you, find out you broke and trifling. Of course, it's reasonable that when you start taking her around R. Kelly, she gonna get with him. He's better looking than you. He got more money than you. He got fame. He got charisma. It's real believable that she was sliding behind the scenes and getting with him behind your back. That's a fucking R. Kelly.
Damn.
So the broke ass nigga with no AAA, no ability to take himself to go get his own gas. He got to call somebody 30 minutes away. No, an hour and a half away. Please come get me. Please send somebody to come get me. He was driving a Chevy Blazer, stranded on 43rd and King Drive. And you could have walked your ass to the fucking gas station. I would have did that rather than call somebody and let them know how broke I am. Because there's you get King Drive, 39th Street, you make a right, go a couple of blocks. It's the Mariano's, I believe it's a gas station across from there. So you could have walked your ass 5 or 6 blocks to get some gas and hold on to your dignity instead of calling somebody an hour and a half away to have somebody come pick you up, take you to 43rd and King at 43rd and King Drive in your Chevy Blazer to the gas station on State Street. He broke. He a do boy, and R. Kelly behind his back. He got some gig for Rob to do some appearance. It was supposed to be $50,000. Rob said he kept the money. So Rob wasn't fucking with this bitch boy. Rob was not fucking with this nigga at all. But he gonna come out here and tell everybody he the best friend of 24 years so he could sell that little whack ass pamphlet he had. Listen, and then he comes out with another whack ass pamphlet called Financial Literacy, and this motherfucker can't even keep gas in his car, don't have a credit card, and was driving a bust down Chevy Blazer. He's upgraded to a Jeep. I guess that's progress. Not in my book, but I guess in a broke ass nigga's mind, that's progress. He wrote Rob in jail. I think some dude in jail was drawing pictures. He drew Will Edie's picture with his girlfriend who was sexing him and Rob. And he sent that to Will, according to Will Edie. I never asked Rob because this nigga wasn't even on my fucking radar for me to care. But he a do boy, he a bitch boy, he a down low nigga that hung around R. Kelly for whatever the fuck he could get. Rob believes he stole $50,000 from him. Will believes, and everybody in the camp believes, his girl was fucking Rob. So these niggas was never tight. They was never like that. Rob didn't even put his money in this nigga's name. He didn't give you power of attorney. He didn't put the royalties in your name. He didn't put his intellectual property under your guidance with your financial literacy pamphlet. His girl was fucking Rob. So these niggas was never tight. They was never like that. Rob didn't even put his knee in this nigga's name. He didn't give you power of attorney. He didn't put the royalties in your name.
Y'all hear it? Now, just a couple days ago, she just put out another video with Marty, and she questioned him about R. Kelly's royalties. And she put this video out a year ago. She must have forgot. So now she trying to recalibrate and make it seem like Keefe done made him sign this and sign that they already knew was already in play. So trying to use that to try to seem relevant. Now, again, I ain't even got to say too much when it comes to these fraud ass people on these platforms. Fraud ass people. Because even with the super fans, if you got all these people, these friends, all these people with money, why the fuck would you expect the fans to fill in the gap? Shouldn't no fans have had to fundraise in the first place? So when people got offended that that's how I feel then and how I still feel now, fuck your feelings. If you got a problem with the fact that this man had ample resources around him that could have been utilized while people watch people ostracize the people around him, try to incriminate the people around him, try to insert them in criminal activities, it don't take a genius to also recognize why a lot of people walked away. If you had a lot of shit going on, and maybe I got some shit going on behind the scenes that I don't want people to be aware of, and I don't want your shit to bring light to my shit, so why the hell would I involve myself in your shit? Thank you, Oak Cliff. Wouldn't that make sense? So, like I said, people spent years trying to undermine me because they wanted to be dealing with these type of fraud ass people, and confused that I don't give a fuck if you was talking to the motherfucking power of attorney, the strategist, the motherfucking spiritual advisor. I don't give a fuck who you was talking to. If they wasn't putting shit forward that I could report on that actually helped R. Kelly, it wasn't no sense in motherfuckers getting mad at me documenting all the shit that definitely didn't help R. Kelly, that motherfuckers was doing, putting on open display on the pro side and on the op side. So just for the people on the op side to come and start talking about some fairness, they knew all these strategies that they spoke on earlier in the live were put into place for a reason, to get these people their conviction. They didn't give a fuck about none of this other bullshit that was going on, how people felt about this, what people felt about that, who hanging out on this person platform. All that shit was stupid as hell, and they spent 7 years engaging in it. So for even the people talking about well, when I was reading the paperwork, other people was putting out stuff that wasn't in the paperwork. Well, that's where you fucked up at. Don't even worry about what the fuck everybody else had going on. That's where I feel like a lot of people fucked up. If you felt like people were putting out shit that wasn't in the paperwork, you should have took it upon yourself to just give your perception of the paperwork instead of creating a whole motherfucking shit show and thinking you had the position to check or give your opinions about anything on anybody else's platform. That's that nigga shit that has had this whole fake ass sector talking in circles for 7+ fucking years that I just don't like at all.
He didn't put his intellectual property under your guidance with your financial literacy pamphlet because he didn't trust your motherfucking ass.
This cinnamon roll is so soft and buttery, like a little cloud of
These
glaze.
cookies just melt in your mouth.
10 out
This
of 10.
cupcake is insanely soft and moist. I'm obsessed. Look at that.
You doing it? I don't even know what the Jews is for. Y'all gonna have to enlighten me. I don't even know. Is that supposed to equate to some munchies? Is that what that is? So you just okay. Right. That's what I be saying. They just be coming on these platforms using people names. So again, I ain't never said that I believe nothing these people be saying at any point in time. I just documented it. Y'all could listen to it, review it, get an understanding to the things that they were doing that I wasn't gonna be doing. Because it don't take all that to blog. Don't take all that to research information. Don't take all that to read indictments. People always got something to say about what's going on somebody else's platform. Make it make sense though. Because ain't nobody putting shit on my platform. Ain't nobody put no time in building my platform. Ain't nobody spent no money on none of the programs that I use to make my content. On none of my Pacer bills, I ain't asked nobody for a bitch ass thing. So you would think that people would either recognize you can like my content or you don't. If you don't understand me, you don't. Oh well, keep it pushing. This shit ain't hard. With that being said, I'm gonna get on up out of here on that note. I done dropped y'all the content that I wanted to. I also dropped some content in members only for y'all. I'm gonna spin the block and go to my Patreon sometime, maybe in the next couple of days, and start revisiting some paperwork that I never got to make videos for. So I'm gonna go back and do that. Other than that, I appreciate all y'all for sliding through. Thank you, Deetra, and everybody else in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the share, hype this video up. Go visit my other videos. Look through my playlist, especially since we talking about Azriel. Go look through my Azriel playlist, and you can see that it was one specific video. I specifically and strategically went through her whole profile, made a whole timeline for all the accusations they had when they were claiming she was missing, that they knew was a fucking lie. But again, all those strategies they used to create a public outcry, that was cool. All those strategies they used to put this information out here on these public platforms, that was cool. All the strategies they used to get R. Kelly locked up was cool. All the strategies to keep this man from building a proper defense, it was cool. But the problem is, some of us saw what it was. Some of us saw the strategy from day one. And you could have been on their side at one point saying, I believe some of it, but not all of it. It never mattered to me. The point that I put on display was that we saw they found a way to bring back those charges from 2002 because he was acquitted in 2008. All the extra padding they added with that Chicago case, you can even go to the news footage and see that they were essentially saying that all them other witnesses didn't seem to have that impact. They were banking on Rashona Landfair. And from the moment I saw the strategy to get her to cooperate, it didn't take me getting on my platform fabricating the notion that somebody met with her and the other star witness in New York, take this to the damn attorney and have him present this in court. Nothing more or less like this whole murder for hire plot that has Bo under fire now. And you know what? I'm going to come live again. Thank you, Deetra. I'm going to come live again, and I'm going to break down the lawsuit against Bo Brentley, R. Kelly, and this Michael Stein dude, which got Bo Brentley reported now. So whomever gave him the bright idea to involve the Aryan Brotherhood, apparently the leader said, hold on, motherfucker. I don't know where you got your information from, but you're not going to get these people the impression that just because I'm a part of this gang and we do this and we do that, that we was out here plotting on R. Kelly. Oh, hell no. So it says a lot that somebody actually filed a lawsuit. It says even more that Bo Brentley was reported to the board. So we will be watching the outcome of what happens with that hearing. If a hearing is set, we're waiting. Just like we're waiting to see if the judge is going to grant a new trial. There's been no ruling as of yet. So it don't take a genius to know why a lot of these people are just doing all this extra theatrical shit right about now. Because at the end of the day, those of us who know we content, we're going to keep pushing content. We're going to keep the focus on all of the information that has been overlooked. Even when we see these bigger platforms now start to put out content saying R. Kelly's coming home. Yeah, we know he's coming home. It's just a matter of time. Because Prima Donna, like I said, that somebody got offended hearing me say was, I ain't never say I was here to free R. Kelly. because I ain't got the power to do so. I don't have his ear. I didn't hire his attorneys, not his power of attorney, don't have no influence in none of his decisions. All I'm here to do is tell you and keep you updated as to what is going on and why I say the things I say and present you with the content that you can take how you want to take. And it's just that on that. With that, y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all on the next live. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Oak Cliff, again. Everybody, see you next one.